What is up, guys, and welcome back to Downhill Smooth Tarmac. If you're new to the channel, we are the home of bicycle shenanigans, bodgery and silly muddy gravel rides. Today we're back in the workshop and we are working on something, well, it's a stone cold 90s mountain bike classic. This is a 1994 Cannondale Super V. Now, you will notice straight away that the forks are not here. That's one of this bike's many problems. Forks are here and they are knackered. That's UK parlance for broken if you're in another part of the world. So this gave me an idea. I've had this bike, believe it or not, for probably about 5 or 6 years. It was in my shop for a while. It's been covered in random bits of different coloured paint, and it is what the motoring trade would call a rat looker. She's tatty, but it's still an early classic Super V. These things led the way in full suspension mountain biking in the 1990s. They came out in 1993. This is a 94 model. I believe it's a Super V1000. Does that matter with what we've got planned? Well, no, not really. It doesn't. What we've got planned is resto mod. We're going to bring it back to life with some cool modern touches and changes to see 30 years later if this still holds up like it used to. So we're going for some longer travel forks. We're going for a cable disc brake at the front. We're going for a 2x drivetrain. We're going to build up some wheels for it, and it might ride all right, or it might not. So stay tuned, roll the credits. Let's cut into a time lapse of this thing being cleaned up so you can see the state it was in when I dragged it out of the tent. Hey, so far we've seen the time lapse, we've seen this thing get stripped down and cleaned up. Before we get into the rebuild, we need to go on a little adventure because we don't have any hoops for the bike. So I'm going to get in the car, I'm going to head over to Dave's, we're going to see what we've got and build it up. In fact, before we get to Dave's, let's get in the tent, let's see what spares we've got that we can take with us. Cut to. Right. Cannondale build. Right, I'm looking for this Cannondale. I want to get, pretty sure I've got a ceramic 26er with a Hope hub. Let's see if we can find it. All sorts in here. That's what happens when you've had a shop dealing in vintage and retro. That's what we've got here. Revolutionary at the time. Rolf Dolomite. Look at that. These were revolutionary at the time. Like 24 spokes or something like that. It's got some serious rim wear. Anyway, that's not what we're here for. No, it's here somewhere. Oh, gotcha. Hang on, here we go. What we got there? Not that one. That's what I'm after. Look at that. 321 disc ceramic. I think that's a Hope hub as well. It is. It's an early Hope hub. Yes. Right, we're going to build one sort of to match. Fantastic. Cool stuff everywhere. You're looking there. Look at that. Pretty Fox dual slalom team bike there. Built into a single speed. Really must have a tidy up in here. Right, so now I just need to find, I'm pretty sure I've got a similar rim for a rim brake, because what I want to do with this Cannondale is yes, I want a rim brake on the back and a disc brake on the front. There it is, look. This is all that remains of my old on one that got stolen. There's this spare rim, look at that, it's got a rim brake on it. That's a 521. It's going to go with that. It's a little narrower. That doesn't matter. Now we've just got to find a hub. Right, that scuppered me slightly because that's 32 old. Mamma mia. See more rammel. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. Just going through what I've got left. Oh, another bit that we're going to need for the build. Front brake. Look at that. That's a brand new Avid BB. a bit wet. Had a lot of rain today and looks like the workshop's leaking. Smashing, but we'll have that. And rear hubs wise, what we got here? XT! How many holes though? That's not 32. Let's find out. I don't know, I think we're alright. 32. So we've got 32 hole XT for the back. Well, we're in the car, we're on our way to Dave's shop. We've got the rims rattling away in the boot. I'm hoping Dave's going to be in the mood for a bit of wheel building because I got night brain and I'm still learning anyway. Got the wheels, got the bits, got some donuts just to, you know, ease my way into this build. And I've also had to buy them just to talk Top Dogger into coming and joining us in the shop today. So he's on his way from Peak District. Now, he might be interested, he loves building a wheel or two since he's learned how to do it. However, one thing he won't be interested in is the Cannondale they're going on. Because I'll tell you for now, he don't like it. I've had this bike for years. I've had it since I had my shop. He didn't like it then. He didn't see the point of it. So, won't tell him what the wheels are for until we've built them. Bearing wheels.
People think I'm running a sweatshop.
Wait, we got Simon on the floor down here, look. And I got you rebuilding that one that I built because the spokes were wrong. Yeah, it's been statures, hasn't it?
Spanking that.
That looks. Oh no. Simon, you didn't line the tyre up. Oh, quality. That's nice work, Bran. Right, so that's been the day. Mucking about building wheels. Great to see Simon helping us. And as you can see behind me, I've got two really nice wheels in the back, ready to go. Okay, and so, as if by magic, here those wheels are. A little soggy because it's been raining out there. They're going to look fantastic on this bike. What a combo. Got an XT on the back, whizzing away, and a Hope up front. Can't ask for more than that. But we can't do anything with these until we've got forks and a shock and some other bits and bobs. See what this thing's going to look like. So we're going to move on now. We're going to grease up and put in that rear shock. Then we're going to sort out that front end. Okay, so let's talk briefly about forks. Because this is what I'm aiming to fit. Because I have them. I know the travel is a little bit too long, geometry might be squiffy, but this is what I have and this is what it's having. Now, for those of you not familiar with Cannondale and their head shock and lefty system, Cannondale use a specific sizing for their headset, and it is 1 1/5 inches, or yeah, 1 1/5 inches, something like that. And what we need to do is convert that down to 1 1/8 inches for a standard steerer, because if I put this in now, you'll see it's wobbly bobbly. We can't have that. So what's the solution? Well, the solution is in this box, and it comes quite expensively from FSA, and it comes in the shape of a reducer headset. So what we're going to do, we're going to find a way to knock these cups out, and we're going to fit and press a brand new set of bearings with a reduced sizing, meaning that we can run any 1 1/8 inch fork we like. So we'll try that one. If that one doesn't work, we'll go on the hunt for some shorter travel, whatever. World is our lobster. You can also get some reducer cups. I've got a set of those, but these forks haven't got a race on them. So really, I need the whole shebang. So I think we're going to go with these, but just for reference, let's get the others and I'll show you the reducer cups as well. Okay. And these are the reducers. I've never used a set of these before. By all accounts, these sit into the headset and allow it to be reduced. But I think let's put a fresh headset. So let's find a way to knock this out and put the other one in, obviously. I don't know how this is going to work. It's going to involve a hammer, probably. Okay, so I'm going to try a spreader tool first. it's obviously too small, but if you can just catch it, you might be able to just knock the headset out by spreading it open. So what we'll do is push something up. So then, let's see if we can expand it a bit to meet that. Let's see if that'll do the trick. Whew. Took a bigger hammer. I forgot to record. It took a bigger hammer than planned, but it's out. Let's see if we can do the top one the same way. So, it's coming. There we go. So that came out really well. Just going to take advantage now. There's actually still grease in here, which is fantastic considering this thing was built in 1993. Let's go have a quick inspection of the head, make sure all is well. It is, so we're going to grease it up, ready to press the new headset in place. Nice thing is, I've now got a spare oversized headset for my other Super V that I've got, which you'll see in another video coming soon, because that's got a triple, it's got the head shock, that's old school, whereas we're going a bit more resto mod with this. Anyway, let's grease this up. A little bit of grease in there. Okay, so the theory is with this is a complete reducer headset. So we've got some cups to press in. The other system, in essence, reduces the headset size, and then you press a standard 1.1/8" headset into it. So there's the difference between the two. But this FSA version looks really elegant. So let's get these cups. Okay, stop that. Some slight changes here. Okay, so sometimes you got to own your mistakes in this life, and I appear to have messed up slightly. I've just mullered a £45 worth of headset. For some reason, they just did not want a seat with the press, and unfortunately we've damaged them. So we'll go with the reducers and we'll put a standard headset in. Adapt and overcome. That's the reducer going in. Nice and level, much better product, because I've managed to find a Ritchie headset, brand new, hanging about on the back wall. So I'm going to go ahead, press this into cups of this reducer. It's moving. It's like wrestling a gator. There we go. In. Okay, so next step, got a race on the new fork. I'm going to put the new fork through, see how it fits, see how it rolls. Lovely. Haha, this is weird looking, man. Really weird looking. Put a little doodad on there. Now, I need a spacer. A couple of spacers. Purple one, because it's a 90s bike. And a Hope one, for once upside down. There we go, Hope in blue. Bars and stem. Gone for flat carbon bar and a Ritchie matching stem for the headset. I didn't do that on purpose. And just gently put that on there for now, and won't be a 90s bike without an Onza top cap. So let's put an Onza top cap on there. Just going to tighten all that up enough for now. We ain't going to be building the whole bike in one go. So next up, we need to turn our attention to that rear shock. And here it is. Look at that natty little beastie. Isn't that cool? These were little Fox shocks. Cleaning this up, you cannot help but appreciate the amount of machining that's gone into it. So it just goes in with nylock nuts and bolts. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take these out and give them a clean and a grease. So hopefully that rear end will be as good as it used to be. I've already rebuilt the rear swing arm because these bearings in here were a little seized. I've done that off camera because it's just nasty freeing up bearings. We'll go to Dave's and we'll replace those at some point, but for now it's moving freely and smoothly, so I'm happy. Let's get the rear shock in we can put some wheels in and finally get an idea of how this bike is going to look. So let's get these cleaned and greased. Some grease everywhere on this, just because the poor little thing's going to need all the help it can get. Just grease up the faces. An Allen bolt with a nylon nut. Put that there. Into place. Washer. So simple, these pivots. Do you know what? If you're new to this kind of thing, a single pivot bike like this is a great place to learn. Top bushings, giving them a grease up as well. And just to clean, try to get as much of the old grease off as I can. Some of it's really stuck on there, but you can see they're not fighting to go back in. So we've got the same Allen bolt. And just put a little bit of grease on that as well. And we'll get an 8mm spanner and the Allen key, and we'll give it a tighten up. Now I think I said earlier 8mm nuts. That was a lie. They're 10. Tighten these up. Nylock's still good. Good resistance. Doesn't that shock look pretty? Okay, so with that back in place, the shock's in there. It's all correct. It's ready to use. Got to put a wheel in. So, about the wheels. At the back, I've got a Mavic 521 rim with an XT hub. Ceramic coated rims. So cool back in the day with a Schwalbe Blackjack 2-inch tyre, so we've got plenty of clearance. Beautifully fresh built wheel, black sapphire spokes, brass nipples. You saw all that in the build video. Onto the front. Front going in. It will have to come out again for a rotor when we're ready for the brakes. Well, we've got a long way to go before we get to that. So there we go. Oh, yes. This is a Mavic 321 disc at the front. So this is a disc specific rim, which suits the build because it's the same colour. It's a little bit fatter. So I'm hoping this thing's going to track really, really well. Here we go. So we now get to see what the Cannondale looks like for the first time in the build. We've got the forks on, we've got the shock on the back, and we've got those wheels in. And I think it looks, I want to say badass cool, because it is. It's just weird. It's also very, very light. There's not a lot of weight going on here. Most of it's in these forks at the front. I mean, it might have been 1994 when they made this, but my God, they knew what they were doing. In fact, the previous owner did say that he used to race it before he gave it away to somebody who painted it 7 different shades of blue and completely ruined it. It even had Motul, like motocross stickers on it when it came into the shop. But I don't want to talk about it. Next step, let's get some stuff on the bars. Let's get some derailleurs on, chain set, all that kind of cool stuff. No, tell them like the present. Let's crack on. Let's do the bars first. Next up, drivetrain. I'm going to go with Dior. We've got Dior shifters up front. Good Lord, that's stiff. That's obviously not been on a bike in a while. Mentioned at this point we're going with a 2x9 drivetrain, I think, for this. The only thing we haven't found as yet is cranks. There we go, that'll loosen up in time, I think. There we go. There we go, that's it, got it. Right, front derailleur or front mech. We're actually going with slightly older Dior LX, just because it needs to fit the clamp size. Okay, bottom bracket. I'm just going to put a simple square taper in here. Okay, for the cranks, kept the black and silver theme going with these new Shimano square taper cranks and a 44-32 crank bolts. There we go. Okay, a couple of changes off camera just before we get to putting a chain on this. Just quickly fitted the cassette. Cassette we've got, what's the biggest we've got on here? 34 I think. Yeah, 34. So we've got a 32, 34 climbing gear, which is plenty. So I've just gone for a straight up Shimano HG53 9-speed chain. Cassette is a sort of a lower level 9-speed Shimano as well. Oh, that's not going very well, is it? Oh, let's find a quick link. Fuck this. Okay, talk about one step forward and two steps back. I was looking for a quick link and I found something else. I found a through axle double for the resto mod with the 3824. It's much better than the square tape we had on there. It's going to take some weight out as well. So I've stripped it out and now we're going to put these in. Just can't help myself. There we go, that's that chainring in place. I've also, just off camera, just adjusted the derailleur down a little bit. Now all we've got to do is, got distracted by that, still got to find a quick link for that chain. Let's crack on with that. Just find a quick link. And just giving this a quick spin up. That drivetrain is looking slick as a whistle. There's some cables on that. Make it work. Drivetrain in place, it's now time to fit the brakes. I'm going to start with the V-brake on the back, and I've got another absolute classic in the shape of this Avid arch rival. Yes, these were really popular late 90s, early 2000s. I think they were, something like that. Whatever it is, it's going on this bike. Turn. Nice. So for the front brake, we're going to be fitting an Avid BB5 cable disc brake. This is pretty much brand new. Found it, as you saw in the video, when we were looking for some hubs, and it's the perfect candidate for this build. So we're going to go ahead, mount that on here. This is an older fork, so this is what's called an IS mount rather than a post mount. So they have the little tabs that you screw into. This happens to have exactly the right adapter for that job as well. Find a rotor to go with this lovely Avid brake. Okay, so we've got a rotor in place. Now it's time to address the cables, and I'm going to start with the front brake, and I'm going to work my way back. First job is to drop an inner cable in place. So I've got Avid levers matching up to Avid brakes. One's a V brake, one is a cable. And that means they're both long pull, so these will be the right levers, these Avid speed dial levers. Fully housed from lever to brake. Forget your end outers. Thread the inner cable through. Take the cable through the route that needs to go. Right, set this brake up. It's a single pivot brake, so only this moves. This is the other pad, and this is done by manual adjustment. Centre the caliper and adjust that until it's just clearing the rotor and not rubbing. That's going to give us our starting point. And then what I do is I undo this barrel adjuster here, and I'm going to put the brake on tight, and then I'm going to slowly release the tension from the cable once I know where we are. Make sure it goes through the guide of the brake the way it should. Push the brake fully closed. Again, if this isn't the way that you know how to do it whichever way you're comfortable. And remember, with brakes, check everything is seated at the lever, because your brakes are that ultimate in safety. Right. So once you tighten that up, move that cable round a little bit to catch the wheel. I'm going to release the adjustment side until it clears. And we're going to check hard feel. Slightly. Good lever feel there, good throw. Actually, now that's in, that's spot on. Okay, so I've already routed the rear brake cable from the front lever. I'm now going to go to the back. This is where things get a little interesting. Being a 1994 bike, this bike would have originally run canty brakes, but I don't see any problem with this taking V brakes at all. The routing suits it, so we're going to come in around the shock from, there's a cable guide just behind, you can't see that on camera. Got this measured out, ready to go into noodle. Brand new noodle. I'll do it for a second. There we go. Fresh noodle, fresh cable, fresh boot, and a boot that should do the trick. Okay, so that's that brake adjusted. Snip the cable, bent it round there, so it's all out of the way. There's a little Allen key adjuster there for adjusting balance between the two sides, but now we've got really nice lever feel. Gears, and this is done. First thing I'm going to do with the gears is put my outers in place this time. Got some cool routing going on here as usual. So I want to make sure that all my outers are the right size. I have prepped these off camera, so they're nice, they're clean, they're new, they're all jagging. that routing done up the front. It's time to pull the cables through. Start with the front one here. Just about got enough of a gap to get an Allen key on that derailleur. Right, with those in place, now try and index this up. So I'm going to start with the back. I'm looking for, when I click the lever, I'm looking for it to lift up one. And it does. That's perfect. Oh no, spoke too soon. So I'm going to go anti-clockwise until this lifts. There we go. Cables are settling now. Yeah, look at that. There we go, lovely. Same for the front. Right, that's dropping off ever so slightly. Which is a real pain with this bike because I've got to try and get into here for this, but we'll manage it. But before we do that, we will tighten the cable up a little bit because it's a little loose. Let's see if I can just tweak the cable there. Right. Okay. See what we can do. Might really get a socket in there. Okay, so with a little bit of limit adjusted there, we've now got the 2x system working as well. So with the cable tight and this adjusted just to do a double, one click of the shifter and it's up. And there we go, 2x9, beautiful. And put some ends on, this thing's ready. So let's snip those cables and let's show it off. Well, there it is. Another bike is built. The Cannondale Super V 1000 resto mod. Check it out. I think it looks absolutely spanking. 2x9. Disc brake up front, V brake at the back. Travel for days at the front. We'll see how that works out. I think it's turned out absolutely brilliantly. It looks great. What an iconic bike. And with that, all that's left to do is ride it, and you're going to have to wait until the next video to find out how this actually handles when we throw it down a trail. So, all that's left to do is to sign off and say I hope that your next ride is downhill with smooth tarmac. Keep your wheels spinning, keep your rubber on the road, keep the knobblies on the trail. Be safe out there, look out for one another. Get a minute, like and subscribe. Once you've done that, get out and ride your bike. Thanks again.